right, we'll start with getting set up and completing the first sheet in Excel. So in Office 365, you're going to select Excel, and then we'll create a blank workbook. And then just a little bit of an overview. First, we're going to name our file. So we'll name it Wisconsin Steel Job Costs. And then other things to be aware of. So it will be saved to the OneDrive. We're going to be creating 7 sheets down in the lower left. Other things to be aware of for formatting the columns. You can do that in the center here. Typically, we're going to be using general or number. Another thing to be aware of, so I have this ribbon visible here. If you click on this down arrow, you can view the classic ribbon that's displayed here, and then you can also select always show ribbon. So that's available with that down arrow over there. Other things that we're going to talk about are clicking in this corner between cell A or column A and row 1, and you can right click, and then with column width you can select auto fit. So we'll do that in a second, but just to give you that idea ahead of time of what to expect. So we're going to have 7 sheets, and so let us click on this plus sign to get the 7 sheets. All right, and then we can rename all of them that along with the labels in the table that was provided. So sometimes, since I'm recording, I have to click a little different. So it's very important that you're mindful of capitalizations and spaces. It's not quite as critical with these. Well, it is with both the sheets and the table names. So we have employee wage rates, overhead rates, material costs. So all I'm doing is clicking on here and then right clicking and selecting rename. What's nice too is whenever you have issues, feel free to contact your instructor, but also with Google and AI, there's a lot of resources. If you just describe your issue, there's a lot of resources for getting things figured out. So material transactions, then we have job cost sheets. And then lastly, so I right click and hit rename. We have job cost summary. All right, so we have all 7. Then we will start off with the first sheet. All right, so our first column is going to be employee, and there's an underline and then name. So in the Word document, there's some underlines in red. It doesn't like the spelling of some things, but be aware that there is an underline. So we have our 2 columns. All right, then what you can do is go in the corner up here, right click, column width, and auto fit. All right, so now those are displayed a little nicer. Then what we're going to do, we're going to format the hourly wage rate. So you're going to click on B and go to the setting in the center of the page, and go to number. The default is that you'll get 2 decimal points when you select number. Then we're going to insert and name a table. So you can click on whatever heading and go to insert and table. Important, you want to make sure that you say my table has headers because employee name and hourly wage rate are those headers. And now you'll see your table. All right, and then we also want to name this table. So we're going to click here, click anywhere in this table, go to table design, and then on the left-hand side, we can change the name from table 1 to table underline employees. And then you can just click somewhere else. And if you come back here and go to table design, you can see that it's the name table employee. So again, make sure to pay attention to spaces, underlines, and capitalization. All right, now we can preload it with just a little bit of information. We're going to add 2 employees, Fred Smith for $15 and Taylor Green with an hourly rate of $20. So we have our first sheet set up.